On today's show, the LA Clippers make it 3-0 in Summer League, and I'm going to tell you why. Maybe I was a little bit too soon to speak on Kobe Brown. Why should you not give up on Kobe Brown's potential this season? Going to be talking about that on today's Locked On Summer League Clippers.
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You were locking in with the Clips. Thank you for making Locked On Clippers the first listen of your day, your team every day. I'm your host, Darian Vaziri, born and raised in LA, going to be going into my 20th season as a Clipper fan this upcoming fall. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DimeDropperPod and subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, for even more NBA, LA sports, and LA Clipper content. And Locked On Clippers is free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, where I want you to leave me a comment and let me know what you're thinking of this Clippers Summer League team thus far, 3-0. And if you're wondering, what about the Russell Westbrook news? Russell Westbrook is not on the Clippers anymore. That will be the subject of Friday's episode, and I'm going to give you another bonus episode on Saturday, which is going to be the Clippers' fourth Summer League game. So we got a game, and we're going to be previewing that game in the final segment of this episode, even though when I release this episode, it'll probably be a couple hours before the game. But I'll also be talking about the contract situation that we're in, and then we're going to begin by talking about Kobe Brown. But before we do that, this episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is the best place to get great deals on tickets last minute. All you got to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, so the LA Clippers Summer League. We have been playing really great basketball. It starts with Coach Dante Jones and his switch everything scheme. That is possible because Moussa Diabate is able to switch 1 through 5 as the big man and guard guards no problem. And there's not too many big dudes that are taking advantage of smalls in the Summer League. But my main takeaway from this game, in which the Clippers won 112-97 over the Milwaukee Bucks, and mind you, a Milwaukee Bucks team that has some NBA players on it. Andre Jackson Jr., Marjon Beauchamp. It's funny. Whenever I hear the name Marjon Beauchamp, I always think of the old Locked On Bucks host, Kane Pittman, in his Australian accent saying Marjon Beauchamp. But I don't know. We did pretty well. We won by 15 points, and it was pretty commanding the entire way. We were up by 6 after 1, 28-22, outscored the Bucks 30-23 in the second, and then got outscored in the third quarter by 1 point, 31-30. And then in the fourth quarter, outscored them 24-21 for a 112-97 win. The Clippers remaining undefeated in Summer League, 3-0, and they're led by the starting lineup of 4 players that were drafted by the Clippers: Moussa Diabate in 2022, Kobe Brown and Jordan Miller last year in 2023, and Cam Christie this year in 2024. And my biggest takeaway from this game, Kobe Brown. Last episode, I came on here and said, Kobe Brown, we're still trying to figure out what his NBA talent is. And I'm not saying we got an answer to that in this episode. In this game. But he's good at a couple of things, right? He's clearly a solid passer. He's got a big body, but he's like 6'6", right? And he's not the quickest in the world. So wings in the NBA usually less stocky than him, but a little bit more mobile. He's kind of got like the build width-wise of a power forward, but he's got the height of a small forward essentially. Even big shooting guards if we're being real. But he's got good basketball instincts. He just doesn't really have much wiggle, creativity with the handle. He's not a great ball handler, so he's not a great shot creator, self-creator. But one thing that we've been trying to do in this Summer League is use him and Jordan Miller, more so Kobe Brown, honestly, as pick-and-roll ball handlers, because they're the ones that are actually going to be on the Clippers. And like last year, Kobe Brown was on a guaranteed contract. Jordan Miller was on a 2-way contract alongside Moussa Diabate and Xavier Moon. So it'll be interesting to see which 3 2-way contracts are given by the Clippers this year. If I had to guess, I think Jordan Miller, Moussa Diabate will be on 2-ways again, if possible. And then the last one, We already signed Cam Christie to a deal, so not Cam Christie. We'll see. Because right now, Kai Jones, we'll talk about it later in the last segment, but Kai Jones' contract is a training camp deal as of now. But Kobe Brown in this game had his best game of Summer League. Had a game where I was like, okay, maybe he will have a case to get into the rotation next year off the bench. The thing is, the fact that we have Nico Batum back is really great because he's going to be playing that backup big forward role. But in the starting lineup, we haven't really figured out an answer, and I don't think we're gonna, just based on our roster situation and how we already have all these guaranteed contracts. I don't think we're gonna go out and get a power forward. I think it's gonna be a mix of Kawhi Leonard and Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr. will take the best on-ball player. So, essentially, I think what's gonna happen is Terrence Mann and Derrick Jones, if they're starting together, they're gonna take the two best scorers on the other team, perimeter scores. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard will guard the spot-up guys. Kawhi Leonard will guard the bigger one of the two, and then Zubac will obviously guard the center on the other team. But that means Kawhi Leonard's essentially potentially playing a lot of minutes at the 4 again, and I put the 4 in quotations because in today's NBA, you're not really bruising all the time against power forwards, traditional power forwards like you were in the 2000s and whatnot, but you are responsible for those low man rotations and potentially taking some more contact out the rim than, say, a guy that's guarding more perimeter-oriented players, right? So it's always, it's been a topic of conversation whether that contributed to Kawhi wearing down. I mean, who knows? It's hard to gauge, from the outside. But my thing is this with Kobe Brown. That backup spot, Amir Coffey, Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown, these guys are all competing for these minutes, right? Terrence Mann should be kind of a lock, but I'm not sure if the Clippers are going to start Terrence Mann again, just given that if he's on that same kind of time that he was on last year where he was hesitant shooting the ball, he and Derrick Jones and Zubac, that's not ideal spacing. Your only real consistent threats from deep there are James Harden and Kawhi. If Terrence Mann is shooting the ball well and he's shooting with confidence and he's not hesitating, then yes, that changes the whole dynamic, and I would love to start Terrence Mann for a more defensive-minded approach. But if Terrence is not, they might say, let's start Norman Powell and just make him a full-time starter, Harden, Powell, Kawhi, Derrick Jones, Zubac. But as far as Kobe Brown, in this game he showed a lot of great things. He actually made some really solid reads in pick and roll, getting downhill, and that's one thing that he can do in the Summer League. He's bigger than some of these guys. He can get into their body, get into their chest, and help defense to come. And in which case, if Kobe Brown is drawing the help, he can make the pass and he'll make it well. And you saw a little bit of that in this game. He had a nice lob to start the game to Musa, and throughout the game, when he was seeing two or attacking a closeout and drawing two, he was making the right pass. And I've mentioned this recently, but I also mentioned it in the season in his limited time. Kobe Brown can pass the ball. He really can pass the ball. He sees cutters. He's got good passing mechanics, meaning that he puts the right weight on passes. When you need to pass the outside hand, he gets to the outside hand, gets to the guys in their shooting pocket. When I say passing mechanics, that's kind of what I mean. I think he's got that. He's rugged, he'll rebound, and I think he has very solid defensive instincts. Again, the biggest thing with Kobe Brown, will he be able to make that spot-up three consistently to stay on the court? Because while I don't think he's the best laterally, he's not a bad defender. But he is undersized, and he doesn't have much wiggle to his game, much self-creation. I don't think, even with the reps that I'm seeing in the Summer League, I don't know if he'll ever be a pick-and-roll ball handler in the NBA. I've already made the declaration that 90% chance he will not be, in my opinion. But I would love for him to prove me wrong, because I'm rooting for every player that's on the Clippers, especially drafted by the Clippers. As far as, his actual stats, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks. Did have 3 turnovers, but again, it's a learning curve doing all these things, handling the ball and pick and roll this much. He shot 7 for 17 from the field. He was our leading shot taker. And then 2 for 7 from 3. So again, not great in the three-point department. And despite all this stuff that we're seeing, and I love seeing that as a player for him developing, the thing that I believe is going to keep him on the court and give him that argument to get consistent minutes over the likes of Amir Coffey and Jordan Miller. Of course, the defense, but it's knocking down shots, in my opinion. Because here's the thing. If Kobe Brown can start knocking down the three ball at a solid clip, and defenses are put on their scouting report, hey, we should close out on Kobe Brown a little harder. If you make him put the ball on the deck, I think Kobe Brown can make plays. He's got good court vision. He can pass. He had a nice dunk in this game as well. And one here. And, he was 2 for 3 from the line. So really solid performance. Moral of the story, don't give up on Kobe Brown. Maybe I was a little premature. Don't rule him out, meaning for getting a rotation spot next year. He's showing me some stuff. He was showing me some stuff in that game. Clippers win at 112-97. Coming up, going to talk about the rest of the squad. Moussa Diabate, his best game yet. I'll let you know what he did so well coming up. I got to tell you a little something about Game Time. The best thing about sports in the summer here in LA is going to Dodger Stadium for me as a Dodger fan. And sometimes it can be a little tricky getting good prices on tickets, especially this summer with Ohtani. But Game Time can help fix some of those problems. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. Those are known as zone deals. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy if you want to see where you are in the stadium before you even go there. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right. So the Clippers winning their third game of the Summer League, moving on to 3-0 with a 112-97 win over the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I want to remind you all, if you are listening on audio, that is very much appreciated. If you're listening on YouTube, that is very much appreciated. And remember, for those that do frequently listen on YouTube, if you don't have the time to watch someday, you're on the move, remember, this podcast, Locked On Clippers, and all Locked On podcasts are available wherever you get your podcasts. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on the go, or even if you're willing to listen to your boy in the gym, that would be very much appreciated. So, yeah. Let's talk about Moussa and Jordan Miller. Moussa Diabate in this game was awesome. This was actually his best game of the Summer League so far for me. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. And I mentioned in the last game on 9 for 13 shooting, by the way, and 3 for 3 from the foul line. Now, I mentioned with Moussa last episode that he needs to show semblance and signs of an offensive player to get some minutes because he's a 6'10" undersized center. So even though he can play the small ball 5, right? He can move his feet, can switch. Offensively, you know what, actually? If we want to go small, we can have one guy that can't shoot. And Moussa is such a good offensive rebounder. He can finish around the rim if he's given bunnies. And with guys like James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, mainly James Harden, you can get a lot of those bunnies. And that's what was happening in this game. He was just feeding off of other guys or catching the ball, going up strong at the rim, just being in the right place at the right time, rolling hard, getting points that if you're working hard, you're going to get if you're getting the ball in the right spots. And that's exactly what was happening. But his effort, his motor is just fantastic. His defense and his ability to switch and guard on the perimeter, close out on the perimeter is awesome. It really is NBA level to me. It's just that lack of offense and the fact that if he's playing the 5, he still is 6'10" and skinny. So there were a couple of times where guys went to the rim on him, even in this game, and he's going up vertical, and he's playing really good fundamental defense, but it just doesn't matter because if he just had 2 more inches, he would be probably forcing misses, but he's 6'10". And I know it's crazy to say 6'10", how is that not big enough? It's man, NBA players are gigantic. That's just how it goes. But it's also that he's not very strong. You know what I mean? Hold on, let's take a look if I can find it right off the top. What's Musa Diabate's wingspan? That would be a nice thing to look up, right? Because that matters as well. 7 foot 2.5. Jesus, that's nothing for a 6'10" guy. No wonder. Damn, it's crazy because he looks so much more lanky when you see him in real life, and even when you watch him on screen, he looks like he has long arms, but I guess they're just skinny. I'm pretty sure Breanna Stewart from the New York Liberty has like around the same wingspan. I mean, she's a presence in the WNBA, but she's in the WNBA and she's 6'4", 6'2". Let's see how tall Stewie is. Sorry, but that tells me a lot. I'm actually really happy I looked that up right now for everyone. She's 6'4", right? So 6 inches difference, and the wingspan is not much. Wow. Yeah, 7'1" wingspan for Breanna Stewart, and then for her Musa Diabate, 7'2.5". Jeez. So that makes a lot of sense now. Again, if Musa can add something, some kind of jump hook, some kind of little floater in pick and rolls, that could keep him on an NBA floor. That could make him an NBA player. Right now, we're still in the process of like, is Musa an NBA player? And in this game, as I said, doing some great things, finishing around the basket, getting those gritty points, 4 offensive rebounds for him, 4 offensive rebounds for Kobe Brown. So the Clippers, I mean, that's one thing that this Summer League team has been doing really well, crashing the glass. They really have that grit that we want to see as fans from the actual team. Won the rebounding battle in this game, 40-36. Won the offensive rebounding battle in this game, 13-10. Both teams shot pretty similarly percentage-wise. Clippers shot 49%, Milwaukee 48%, but we shot significantly better from 3. They shot 27% from deep. We shot 35% from deep. And we also shot 9 more free throws, even though we shot 60%, which is not great. So more shot attempts and more free throw attempts, you're going to win games. You're going to win games. We forced 15 turnovers. And I just love the tenacity of this Clipper team defensively so far. And you know who's been contributing to that and who's arguably been the player of the Summer League so far, even though I haven't watched every team? Jordan Miller, our second-round pick out of the University of Miami last year, going into his second year this year, 48th pick in that draft. He has been awesome. His little deceleration when he's going downhill, going into the body of guys, finishing through contact, has been awesome. He's been continuously getting to the line because he's really driving with force. He's not afraid of anything. So he's got real power when he's attacking closeouts, and I also like him on the break. And he's got pretty solid size and length defensively. I'm still keeping an eye out on him, sliding his feet and playing on-ball defense. But partially it's because the Clippers are switching everything, so it's just frantic. It's not a certain guy going at another guy all the time. And these teams aren't really matchup hunting like that the same way that regular NBA teams do. So you're seeing a lot of different guys defend. There's so many different lineups getting put in. But Jordan Miller offensively, I mean, the guy has just been great in every game, and it's such a fantastic sight to see. And it hopefully will put some pressure on Amir Coffey this season and that bench role. 23 points for Miller. 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks, just 1 turnover, on an incredibly efficient 9 for 14 from the field, 2 for 3 from deep. So again, that's one thing that was not really there for Jordan Miller in the Summer League last year. He is looking so much better shooting the ball from 3 this year. And this is the one stat that was just really weird. 3 for 9 from the foul line after shooting 13 for 13 the previous game. Had he made some of those free throws, he would have had another 25-plus point game. So, again, overall, like what I'm seeing from Jordan Miller. But coming up, what did I see about Cam Christie that I just keep on seeing and like that I'm seeing? And who are the guaranteed contracts on the Clippers? Going to be talking about that coming up. All right, Clipper Nation. Clippers got another Summer League game on Thursday night. By the time you listen to this, it might have already happened. But don't worry, you will get the coverage on that, although it won't come probably till Saturday because Russell Westbrook got traded. So we are going to make a whole episode on that. But I had to get this episode out because we got to talk about Cam Christie, baby. Cam Christie saw some really solid defensive things in this game. He clearly has that same, motor and want to defensively that his brother has, which I love to see. A lot of defenses just want to, but most guys in the summer league are trying to play defense because they're all trying to prove themselves and get a spot, right? They're trying to get standard contracts and whatnot. But Max Christie already has a standard contract. Cam Christie. So it's just a matter of, let's see what you can do. And the one thing that I'm really liking is just the quick trigger that he has. He is not afraid to pull. Has he shot the best so far in Summer League? Not really. In this game, no different. 4 for 13 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3, 2 for 3 from the foul line. So he has not shot well at all in the Summer League, but 13 points, 4 rebounds. I just love the lack of hesitation. You know what I mean? He's letting it fly. He only took maybe 1 or 2 bad ones, but all the other ones were pretty decent looks. And I think there could be a player there. You just got to put on muscle and probably spend a good amount of time in the G this year in San Diego and just get some reps there because I don't think it's going to come. He's not looking better than Jordan Miller or Kobe Brown. And then you have guys like Amir Coffey and Terrence Mann. So, yeah, I see Cam Christie getting a lot of reps in the G. Is there anyone else to mention from the game? Let's see. Musa with 21 points. Jordan Miller, 23 points. Kobe Brown, 18. Cam Christie, 13. These guys got 27-plus minutes, all 4 of them. And those are the only guys in double figures, so you love to see it. Let's now talk about the contract situation. So with the Clippers now officially getting Chris Dunn and Russell Westbrook going to Utah, and he's going to be bought out and going to Denver. So I'm going to make a whole episode on Westbrook in that situation. But, here are the guaranteed contracts. Number 1, Kawhi Leonard. And this is in order of how much money they're making. Number 1, Kawhi Leonard. Number 2, James Harden. Number 3, Norman Powell. Number 4, Ivica Zubac. Number 5, PJ Tucker. Bing, bing, bing. Let's just stop right there. I know, yeah, right? If we can get off that contract, that would be huge. I don't know who wants to take it, though. But it is an expiring contract. It's just, I don't want it on our books. Terrence Mann, 6. Derrick Jones Jr., 7. Nico Batum, 8. Bones Highland, 9. Amir Coffey, 10. Mo Bamba, 11. Kobe Brown, 12. Kevin Porter, 13. Cam Christie, 14. And then now Chris Dunn. Kai Jones is on a $2 million training camp deal, so it's not fully guaranteed. And then Jordan Miller is on a 2-way contract still, and he's trying to get a standard contract, but I just don't expect it to happen just because of the Clippers have all these guys. Unless a trade is made where maybe 2 players go out the door and we make some room, I see Jordan Miller probably being on another 2-way. Yeah. That's the contract situation. On the next episode, though, we're going to go in more depth about the Russell Westbrook move, why it didn't really work out for Russ in LA, why Chris Dunn is a very solid replacement, in my opinion, is going to actually improve us in that spot. And where our roster stands after that move. So it's going to be plenty to talk about. As far as the Clippers Summer League game on Thursday, if we can stay 4-0, it would be nice if maybe the Clippers win a trophy for once. Win the Summer League championship. I mean, let's see. We're playing against the Utah Jazz in this one. You know how much I like beating the Utah Jazz. Hopefully Jordan Miller has a good game. Clippers are minus 4.5 right now. So we got the odds. That is going to be at 7 Pacific time on NBA TV or ESPN+. So go Clippers. By the way, Jordan Miller is averaging 26.6 points in Summer League right now. We're going to get a look at Cody Williams, the 10th pick in the draft for the Utah Jazz. And he scored 14 or more in all 3 games I'm reading. So it'll be interesting to see what he's got. But you know how it goes. The age-old proverb continues. Go Clippers. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DimeDropperPod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel Dime Dropper, for even more LA Clipper, LA Sports, and NBA content. And Locked On Clippers is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And Leave a comment on YouTube. Peace.